Lesson number 45 and first video of the new project. We are learning JavaScript and we are learning JavaScript by examples. In this new exciting project, we will be recreating this application, which is available on this website here. And we have a script page on this website, which has hundreds of math practice modules. And if you go down towards the bottom, these are the two scripts that we will learn how to recreate. So let's start. So for this project, I have created another folder called major line segments. If I double click on it, it has only one folder, nothing else. And the name of the folder is images. If you double click on it, it has 3 images, a tick and a cross. And this is an SVG image. If I double click on it, this is the image that we will be using for our project. If I right mouse click it, because it is an SVG image, you can edit it with the help of your text editor. So if I right mouse click and open it with my Sublime text editor, I have modified the width and height of the image and the V box so we can use it for the project. So before I start, let me tell you that this is a very complex script and our lessons are for beginners. So I will create a simpler version of this script. Once we have done quite a few projects, then I will recreate this complex application one more time. So let's change the size of the browser and I will open my text editor. I'm using Sublime text editor and you can use any text editor that you want. So I will say file and I will save as. I will find the project folder. I'll go into the major line segments and I will say major line segment HTML. I will change the size of my text editor, and if I minimize this, this is the new document. If I double click on it, we have a blank document with nothing in it. So I will go back to my text editor and this is the document in the text editor. So I will say HTML and I have created a basic HTML skeleton. I will remove the things that are not absolutely necessary. So we have something very, very simple for the beginners. Within the body tags, within this element, within the body element, I will create a div and I will give it an ID and I will call it main container. So we have created a div and if I save it and refresh it, there's nothing visible. So let's try to make sure that we have indeed created a div. So I will target this div with the help of ID and I will have to create a style tag, an opening style tag and a closing style tag, so that we can write our CSS here. So I will target my div with the help of ID and you type a hash symbol if you want to target an element with the help of ID, and the ID of this new div is main container. So I will copy this and I will paste it here, and an opening curly bracket and a closing curly bracket, and I will say border 2 pixels solid blue. So if I save it now and refresh it, we have a div element that has nothing in it, but the border is visible, which is 2 pixel, which has a thickness of 2 pixels. This is the only element that has been created with the help of HTML. For the rest of the things, we'll use JavaScript. And for that, I will have to create a script, an opening script tag and a closing script tag. And I will create another element and I will call it, I'll create a variable, a constant, and I will call it ruler container, and I will say document dot create element, and I'm creating a new element, a new div. So if I save it, nothing should happen, because although we have created an element and we have saved that element as this variable, unlike this div container which is attached to the body element automatically, this new element is just within the memory of the computer and it's not attached to anything and is not visible at all. So I will append this newly created element to this container as the child element. So I will say main container append child, and I will copy this and paste it here. So now we have attached this container that we have created with the help of JavaScript. This element was created with the help of HTML, pure HTML, and this new element, which is similar to this div, has been created with the help of JavaScript within the script tag, and we have attached this newly created div element to this main container. Next step is to display the image of the ruler within this div. So I will say ruler container dot inner ruler container dot inner HTML is equal to single quotations and image tag, and within this image tag I will say src source attribute and double quotation dot / images, which is the name of this folder here, and the name of the image that we want to display is ruler.svg. So I will say ruler.svg. It is very important that you don't forget to write the extension. So if I save it now and refresh it, we have the ruler visible within this div element, the main container. And now that we also have a ruler, let me also show you this container. So I will say I'm creating a class by the name of ruler class, and I will an opening curly bracket and a closing curly bracket, and I will assign this class to this container, and I will say ruler container dot class name is equal to single quotation, and the name of the class is ruler class. Copy and paste it here. So we have created a class which has nothing at the moment within it. It's an empty class, but we have assigned this class to this container that we created just here with the help of JavaScript. So I will say border 1 pixel solid green. So if I save it, maximize this, refresh it, you can see that there is a blue box. And let me make it a bit more clear. I will say margin 5 pixels. So if I save it and I refresh it, we have a blue container which is the main container, and we also have this ruler container which is the daughter element of this element, and within this element we have this ruler. But notice the length of these containers is much bigger than the size of the ruler itself, so we can control that. So I will say main container, and I will say width and 800 pixels. So if I save it and maximize this and refresh it, we have a container that is proportional to the size of the ruler. So that's it for today, and in the next lesson I will justify this image and I will create a line segment on top of it, and I'll create multiple copies. So hope you learned something, and I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you very much.